This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Good morning, Scotland. Yes, this is me, Norrie Hunter, back in the hot seat after 2 weeks' holiday. Good to be back. Kevin Gibney's with me across the table. We'll be discussing all the news, and I'll tell you all about my adventures on holiday. Right now, it looks like Boris Johnson's coming to Scotland. We'll be looking at the implications for Scotland in that. What's happened to David Mundell? Oh, Ruth Davidson's been very quiet as well. And the last time I was here, I was talking about Tavish Scott. He wasn't resigning. He was giving up his seat in the House of in the Scottish Parliament. 2 weeks is a long time to be away. Things have changed, Kev.
It sure has. It feels so long ago, Norrie, since you were in here. But lots happening here, and I hope you had a good holiday.
I did, and I kept an eye on the march at the weekend, which was reports coming in 2,000, Kev. For Campbelltown, that's not a bad turnout. Very good indeed.
Yeah, that's what the police are reporting, isn't it?
2,000, and there was another march in Carnarvon in Wales, 8,000.
Yeah, that's
8,000.
That's them looking for their independence as well.
Yep,
Yes.
and it's this
really good numbers.
I think this is the Boris Johnson effect. I really don't think people are taking to him at all.
Yeah, I mean I think it's it might have been a longer time coming down in Wales, right? But they've looked up at Scotland, and I'm sure that's inspired them a lot. And you know, Independence Live have been helping in the background, trying to get them to live streams and stuff. So yeah, they're doing great.
And don't forget, we've had our Welsh counterparts, Radio. I'll say this, get this right. Radio Cymru.
That's right.
Yes, in Cardiff. We've been speaking to them. They've been very impressed, it's got to be said, by Nicola Sturgeon and the way she's dealt with it.
Yeah.
Which is more than some of the people in the SNP. The most impatient ones, that is, are really wanting Nicola to get a move on.
Well, what does that mean? I mean, there's things have still to happen. We're still to come out of the EU. That's still to happen. You know,
let's just
we're getting to that stage where it's all going to come together.
What I think, Kev, is let the Tories make a big bourrick of it themselves, and then we'll walk all over them come the independence debates.
Yeah,
it was good to hear you had Angus Brendan on.
Oh yeah, that was on Saturday. We were doing a live stream actually from here, Norrie, can you believe?
Yeah.
So that was Cam 5 for Campbelltown. And what we did was we brought all the cameras together when they were available and put it out as a stream. So we can do that for anywhere, and we do it for the studio. But we were also doing the radio show at the same time. We've done a special radio show. And we interviewed, we've done some cracking interviews. Someone from the Isla and various other places, and stuff, also Angus McNeil.
Brendan, aye.
Yeah, and he was, when we phoned him up, he was in a field ready to shear some sheep.
Aye, I know how that goes. Yep, indeed. Shearing sheep. I'll tell you all about my travails later on in the show. I'm here till 2 o'clock. If you want to get in touch, it's the usual system. In fact, it's not the usual system because we didn't have any news, Kev. And your wee jingle at the start telling people of the way to get in touch isn't there either.
Oh, dear.
So we'll have to find all that.
There's a story there as well.
There's a big story everywhere. But what about getting a bit of music to keep us going? This is Wiz Khalifa featuring Charlie Puth. See you again.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Yes, indeed it is. Kev, one mention we've got to give is to our good friend Mike Fennick, who, he hosted the show at Campbellton, didn't he, on the main stage?
He did. He done a cracking job, didn't he?
I thought he was first class. And when he got a bit of a fright, I was watching live, and the band started off, I think he played a power chord, and Mike had his back to them, but he nearly died because of the noise. But that's how it goes when you're on the stage, a live stage. But that was Twisted Melons. I'm going to play some of their stuff, actually, because I thought they were first class. I'd never heard them before, and they took the stage and they blew me away. Don't know. And there's another girl that Tim was playing. You know her better than I do, I think.
Amanda Brown.
No, Maya. I think Maya Brown.
Was that the young?
She's young, 16.
16. No, she was fantastic. I've seen her.
What a voice!
Perform before at another rally.
Oh my!
Yeah,
goodness.
She's really good, isn't she?
Yes, indeed. And if you were at Campbellton at the weekend, give us your thoughts. Give us a wee message. What was it like for you? Was it as good as anyone else? Was it better? We'd like to hear your stories from Campbellton. Right. It's been a busy week since I've been away. Boris Johnson is visiting Scotland today. I hope he gets the same reception as he got in Manchester.
Well, let me tell you about that, because I think there's a demo in Glasgow up by Buchanan Steps. I think it's the Radical Independence campaign are doing a demo.
Where is he visiting? Is it Stirling, or is he coming to Glasgow? He wouldn't come to Glasgow, no way.
Well, he would. he would. He's plenty of protection. Sneak him in, sneak him out.
No, they wouldn't. Nah. I don't think he'll come. He'll not come to Glasgow.
I'll try and find out a bit more about that demonstration.
Aye, definitely. He deserves all he gets.
I think there's also something happened down by what do you call it? Nuclear weapons place, Helensburgh, down by the base down there. I think there's something happened down there.
Right. Things happening all over the place.
Yeah. I just got news for Fiona today. She called me and she told me a few things, and I managed to remember sort of two of them.
It's been a long week, Kev.
It's been a tough
long week.
It was a tough.
I'm back refreshed after my holidays. More on that later. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Jo Swinson, she's been coronated. She's been anointed as the new
John
Lib Dem
Swinson,
leader.
The person who wants to put up a statue to Margaret Thatcher. That's how much she knows about Scotland.
Well, we'll be looking at the pros and cons of Jo Swinson for the independence movement.
Yeah.
Later in the show, we need to get your messages on that. I'm going to rip it to shreds. I had the pleasure of meeting a big issue seller, Gary Buchan. I know Gary, if you might not be listening to the show, but if you are, mate, all the very, very best. You are working really hard with your issues in Malig. You're hoping to get to the Heb Kelp Festival. And before anyone says, well, somebody who's on benefits, shouldn't you go to the Heb Kelp Festival? Why not? The boy's not got a house, he's not got a job. When he goes to meet other people, he feels safe. And why shouldn't he have the pleasures in life that the rest of us have? That's just my piece for today. So Gary Buchan, all the very best, mate. I'll be saying a couple of things about you later on. I know you gave me permission. All over the Highlands I was, Kev, and all over the place I came across independent minds wanting an independence referendum from the most unlikely of sources you would not believe. Shout outs, I've got loads. Perhaps I could start with the geographer in Fort William High Street. Yeah. Here's a guy, independent, Paul Jeffrey, what a guy. He just cooks, and not just cooks great food, but the service is great, the place he's got is amazing. And in his restaurant, something we should get for the studio, a map, and on the map he's got pins of where everybody's come from, and most people have come from, guess where? Europe.
Yeah,
it's a brilliant indicator of who comes to Scotland. He's got a lot from America, but Europe, jam-packed, and he's also got a map of Scotland, and I think we should get that. Whoever gets in touch with us, bang, every Yes group gets a
that's a great idea.
Put them up, because
Yeah.
we've already had Wick, Dumfries. We've gone to Musselburgh, Edinburgh, Glasgow, all parts of Glasgow, Pollock, Southside. There's more to come, so we could get our big huge map and put the pins in it.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah. Well, that came from Paul Jeffrey at the geographer. Other things, the carriage in Glenfinnan. If you're up in Glenfinnan, they get a huge amount of traffic, traffic up there. But they're about half a mile up the road, and they kind of get missed out. But in there, I wore my Indie Live t-shirt.
Oh, nice, good
and
man.
The young guy, I can't remember his name, and I think it's Pauline who served and owned the place, and even the cook was a yes man. So these places you should go because you'll be sure of a great welcome, and they're yes people. Right now, Kev, the Twisted Melons.
Do we have any tracks?
We do. I honestly, this is the first time I heard this band was on your live stream on Saturday, and I thought I've got to hear more of this. This is brilliant stuff. Never heard of them before. I think it's three brothers. I'm not sure, but they're coming up next. Twisted Melons. Change is gonna come, and it sure is.
Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Isn't that just fabulous? That is the Twisted Melons. Change is gonna come. We'll be playing a lot more of that. It's going to be a dull, cloudy day for most, with rain or showers. Some drier weather in the east. Rain will become light and patchy in the afternoon, but there may be a few heavier bursts in Argyll. Winds light and variable. Maximum temperatures 20 degrees centigrade. Well, when I was on holiday, it was we had floods up in Gairloch, and we had the most amazing heat up in Gairloch the next day. It was incredible weather. And if it is, I'm going to say something, but climate change is happening. It was too hot, too hot for me. I got a bit of a tan, but midges were out in force as well. Blimey. And I got some cleg bites. Anyone knows about clegs? They're worse than midges. But I got my, I got sorted out. Got some cream from the chemist. Put it on. Brand new. Right. Gary Buchan, big issue. He was, believe it or not, Gary was buying a big issue off a vendor. last year. He was actually buying it. It just shows you how things can change. Lost his job. Bit of a trouble in the house. Lost his split up with his wife on the streets. And then he decided to drink a bit. And decided that wasn't what he really wanted to do. It wasn't helping him. Good on him. Realised that. Got out. Got his big issues. Got a badge. Got a jacket. And away he went. And he always says, Kev, he always says that it's not about the money he gets. It's about the chat he gets with people who pass him by.
Absolutely.
And the other thing was another brilliant place to go in William is Highland Bookshop.
Yeah.
And you'll meet a hard-working girl there called Sarah Louise. And I went to buy a book, George Monbiot. I don't know if you heard of him.
Oh, yeah, we've interviewed him.
And I got his book. Inside, I'm going to go over that on Wednesday. There's a few things that Gary picked up on. He says he gets really lonely when he's on the streets. He likes to speak to people, get their thoughts. Everybody needs to speak.
Feel human again.
Feel human. And in the very first chapter of George Monbiot's book, he says the biggest disease isn't obesity, it's not cancer, it's not leukemia, it's loneliness. We've created this society where nobody knows each other. We only know Facebook friends. They're our friends. We don't really know people to touch and feel and talk to anymore. And this is a real issue. I'm going to be talking more about this week. But there we go, up in Gairloch. And one of my mates on Twitter, he was up there as well, James Loxley. And he got on a boat and he took a trip out and he saw the amazing dolphins and whales. And this is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
Wow, that's amazing.
We went out in a boat to Egg. We got soaked. It was coming down in torrents. But my daughter loved it. Wee madam was out the front trying to scrape the water as the boat went up and down. Brilliant. And we got to Egg, Kev. Yeah. Met this guy, lovely guy, Stuart Ferguson with 2 S's, serving food in this bespoke, beautiful tea house. Next to that was a kind of a gift shop and you get egg cups, that kind of thing. Egg, E-I-G-G. Yeah. And up on the board it says fried egg sandwich, E-I-G-G, all that kind of stuff. It's a bit of fun. But as soon as you got into Egg, your phone started pinging. It started coming alive, messages. Do you know why? They bought out the island. It's
That's right, yeah.
It's a community-owned island. And they lay cables, fibre optic cables, right across the island. And because there's no landlord saying, oh, you can't go on my land, you can't go there, they've just gone straight through. And they've got this amazing broadband. I couldn't believe it. I was sitting looking at all the texts that were coming through and I thought, over in the mainland, I couldn't get them.
Well, that's just a small picture of how it should be. I mean,
it
right
is.
Across Scotland, of course, that's not a devolved power.
Aye, broadband.
Yeah.
But look at what communities can do when there's no landlord to stop them.
Absolutely, yeah.
And other places we went to, a campsite up in Arisaig, the guy who owns it is, I don't know, why are these people, when they come up to Scotland, they say they're Scottish, but they speak like that, you say, you say, get off my land.
Yeah.
But he's Scottish, he wears a kilt and all the rest of it. But he's got on his gates,
eaten educated.
Do not pass this or you'll be fined 40 shillings, all that kind of guff,
Yeah.
And I was speaking to him earlier in the day about my trip to Egg, and I was saying I just met some really forward-thinking people, and he says, oh, did you meet any lepers? I says, lepers? What are you talking about? Oh, you were over in Egg. I says, you know what? I found...
What?
I know. I says, I was over there with my daughter and my missus. It was pouring with rain. They took us in. We didn't buy anything. We were just sitting there doing the newspaper. They took us in and spoke to us all that time, 3 hours. We couldn't go out in the rain. It was just torrential. They were the most welcoming, soft-hearted, beautiful people I've ever met. Why are you calling them derogatory names? And he started off in one. Well, they're always getting the money for everything they do. I said, no. I says, you know what your problem is? You've got to get your head out the sand, mister. You own this campsite, and there's another 2 up around you. And do you know what? You're putting the prices up and up and up. And do you know what? you're going to fail because there's nobody left to pay what you're charging.
So what was his campsite?
Cambusdarrick, I think it is. Cambusdarrick.
Well, you need you know which one to not go to.
Yeah. But just on every cloud there's a silver lining.
Right.
Morrig McDonald's in the car park with our tents. I noticed her car full of yes stickers, and I went past. I says, "How you doing? I'm Norrie Hunter." You probably didn't know about Indie Live Radio, nothing like that. So she does now. So she might be listening.
Nice
Morrig,
one.
and your daughter, forgive me, I can't remember her name, but she plays the ukulele. And always remember when you're camping, you haven't got a wall, you've got a wee thin layer of canvas. We can hear everything, you know. Lots of things going on in tents and campsites. You wouldn't want me to broadcast it. Not today, anyway. No. So that was me up there. Lots of midges, but I didn't get eaten at all by the midges. They tend not to come from me. I got clegg bites, but not midge
The
bites.
clegs are the horrors.
Yeah,
you know,
got-
midges are bad, but clegs not so. They give a nasty bite, don't they?
Yeah, Mrs H got she got really bitten bad.
Yeah.
Shocking. But it's they're dying off. The hot weather's killing them off. Apparently, not as bad as it's been. But we got really wet weather, and that stirred them out there.
Oh jeez.
The bushes. Anyway, never mind about me and my midges. That was me up north. This is an uncertain smile. I haven't heard this for a while, Kev.
Okay.
We'll play this, and we'll come back after
I
this.
like them.
Yeah, long time no here.
Excellent.
Strange name for a band, though. Oh, it takes ages to warm up. You know this, Kev. It takes ages to kick up. I'm just going to wind it up. Goes for ages, and then he starts singing.
Cannot
Not
legally
yet.
live.
Don't worry, it's not yet. Keep going.
Tune in to IndieLive.radio
Oh, I'm going to
for
leave it
audio.
there.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Is that?
This is
I don't know who
IndieLive.radio.
that is.
Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music.
But,
Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
That is brilliant.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music.
So
Tune
there's
to
four stone
IndieLive.radio
on his
for
four
audio.
4 stone.
Aye.
What's that?
Is the mic saying the mic's on? I don't.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Oh, back. There I am on the screen again, Kev. Look at that.
Excellent.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's good.
As soon as I speak, I've got a frog in my throat. Excuse me.
Have a drink.
Aye. Somebody said to you to put the kettle on, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and I put the kettle on. But next song, I'll go and make us a cut of something.
Right. We're getting messages coming through, aren't we, on the chat box. So, without further ado, there was one that came in. Let's see. We'll go through them all. Just do them all in order. Yeah, put the kettle on. That was from Chris. I already got a message about the possibility of Indie Live Radio broadcasting live from the Black Isle show. Our SNP branch is there on the 1st of August. We would be delighted to discuss ASAP. Please call this number or myself, Graham Bell, on this number. Thanks, Graham Dingwall and Black Isle SNP. What do you think, Kev?
When is it?
First.
1st of August, is it?
Yeah, so it's coming up soon.
The day I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
We should talk to them about
We'll talk to them after the show.
how to live stream stuff, right?
Aye.
And we can help them out with that.
Okay.
And we can pick up the live streams and simulcast them and all sorts.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So we've got a number. We'll get back in touch with them. So, Norrie, you are doing a version of the school essay, What I Did in My Summer Holiday. Paul, not quite. I probably wouldn't get top marks for it anyway. Just going to waffle on about what I did in my 2 weeks up north. Good to have you back, Norrie, says Angela. Thank you, Angela. That's so kind of you. And Ronnie, hey folks, back from my 1 week holiday in a muddy field near Dunoon. Hey. That doesn't sound too good, Ronnie. Kevin, you mean Faz Lane?
Yeah, I couldn't think of Faz. I'm so
What was
tired.
that? What was that about?
It was there's something happening over by Faz Lane. I don't know if it's a demo. I'm not sure who's appearing. Is Boris heading over there or something? I don't know. I actually don't know. We'll try and find that out. Also, Radical Independence Campaign, I think, are holding a demo at the Steps in Glasgow, Buchanan Steps, today. But I'll need to hunt that down.
We'll have to look that up as well. If you get any information on that, get in touch. The usual channels, indielive.radio webpage. Scroll down, you'll get the chat box. Send us a message. Ronnie says he was walking up a hill at Stronafearn near Loch Ridden and saw 4 yes-stones placed around the place. Got some pics which I'll try and post today, I think he means.
Yeah,
try.
fair enough.
X-Sticks, Dull and Aberdeen.
Dull and Aberdeen. Oh yeah, we've not had weather reports.
I have.
Have we?
I've just done the one for Scotland.
Oh, did you?
Aye.
I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy in the tech, heading the tech.
Aye. Dull and Aberdeen, but pleasant. Very good, X-Sticks. Good to have you along. Kev says the kettle's on. Yep. Let's see. Can hear you both singing. Somebody's saying we can hear you both speaking over a song.
Yeah, that was
me.
You've got to switch the mics off.
Aye, but we've got new technology in the studio. If you're watching over there to here, keep from forgetting, or I'll get back into the swing of it, but the lights go off.
Yeah, that's right. It's a bit unusual, isn't it?
Yeah, usually when the mics go on, the lights come on. So it tells you...
It's the opposite way
It's the opposite way around.
Mixer.
So I mixed it up. Very sorry if... hope no untoward language came out.
Yeah, that's the issue, isn't it? You got
I was doing my notes on Ruth Davidson. Something might...
That could easily happen.
Might slip
Easily
out.
happen.
Right. Where is she? What's happening to her, by the way? Haven't they heard Sight nor Sound?
I know.
And the thing is, Kev, being away for a wee while, when I was away, it was Sajid Javid she was supporting on the Prime Minister's contest, for the Tory leadership contest. It went from Sajid Javid, he got kicked out. So she went then to, I think it was Michael Gove. He got kicked out. Then it went to, now get this right, because it's a presenter's nightmare, Jeremy Hunt.
Yes.
He got... But I'll do it. And now it's the one she didn't want who's in.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair
Boris
to her,
Johnson.
right, she's not keen on Boris Johnson. That's something.
You know this, I'm just laughing. Paul Hutchin of the Sunday Herald, he says, my analysis, Ruth Davidson's slim chances of becoming FM depend on cutting ties with the Conservative Party.
Yeah.
Paul Middleton replied to that. He said, Ruth Davidson's chances of becoming First Minister have not been affected by Boris Johnson becoming PM. They're still zero.
Exactly. I mean, it's like...
I know.
How could they even possibly think
What chance-
she's got any chance?
This is a journalist of some
You know.
repute, and he still thinks she's got a slim chance of being a
so
First
deluded.
Minister.
They're so deluded. You know, they've got no idea what's going on.
Muppets.
But I see, like Boris Johnson. I think he's saying that he's going to give 300 million to Scotland. Right? It's not been funded, etc. It's not. Where's the money coming from?
That's
right?
recycled money, by the way.
Yeah, aye, recycled money, right?
Aye, it's old money, it's
but
not you.
But also, Norrie, right? We've got record food banks. We've got universal credit, right? The person you're talking about earlier on that ended up in the street, right? The social services that are there to support people have been cannibalised, right? And it's not so much there to help support people. It's been turned into a weapon.
Well,
Universal credit. It's
Look, it was an ideological choice they made in power. Now, 2010, guess who was in power? That was Joe Swinson as part of the coalition. Now, I saw this because I deliberately took my head away from politics just to get
Yeah,
away from
absolutely,
it.
quite right.
But yesterday I got back into it, and she was on Sophia Ridge. Have you ever seen her? And she says, we made mistakes. We made mistakes when we were in power. We do things differently now. I'm sorry, Kev, but see, when you're in power, you've got a moral duty to do the right thing. You cannot come out of power and say, oh, I'm sorry we did that. We're sorry we said we'd reduce or abolish student tuition fees, but we never, and hand out apologies. we're sorry, but it was the Tories that done it. No. You were in power. You got the money. You got the prize. You got the Mondeo. You were in charge. And that's what you did.
Absolutely. And I wonder if she's still in 100% support for this Margaret Thatcher statue that she was keen on.
Well, you
I
know...
wonder if she's still plugging away at that in the background.
Well, there's a kind of mixed bag of reviews. She says many people will forgive anything for a chance of stopping Brexit, and post-Brexit they may well never forgive those who opposed. Labour are doing at UK level what they did in Scotland. They may well be finished. So there's some people are saying that at least she's standing up against Brexit down south. Who else have they got? They've got the Greens, but the Greens are flatlining. They're about 9%. At least the Lib Dems are up to 26.
Lib Dems are a right-wing party.
Aye.
That's as far as I'm concerned. They're once they started holding hands with the Tories, and once she came out of that, we should build a statue for Margaret Thatcher. That was it. I mean, that is, she's got no, talk about not having the finger in the pulse of Scotland.
Well, she said
that woman was reviled.
I've got a quote somewhere, Kev, just on that. She said she would never work with Labour because
she's never worked for Labour. I mean, how
she would never work.
What an insane.
She'd never worked with SNP.
Right.
Who does that leave?
The Tories.
The Tories.
What's she going to do?
What's she going to do? I know.
You know.
But the way she speaks, I mean, she speaks like a strangled frog. Somebody put on Twitter, she can't even say owl, and it's all. If you're from Dumbarton, it's all, not owl. Owl. You know, owl our policies. God, you muppet. In fact, wait a minute, I've not played this for a while. Let's see. Joe Swinson, take that right in the neck. That's what you are. Muppet. Right, we've got messages coming in about this. She helped break the economy along with colluding in policies that led to 130,000 deaths of claimants. That's Robert Campbell in Glasgow. Stuart Thompson, wow, Joe Swinson voting with the Tory whip more times than Michael Gove. Pretty damning for Lib Dem leader. Some are desperate for power at all costs. Yeah, indeed. We've got, and this guy Paul says, quite frankly, I'll vote for a party that is pro-Brexit. Who else am I supposed to vote for in England? Anyway, we'll be back after the Winnie Hills jigs. This is Capper Kelly.
Radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Fantastic music. That was the Winnie Hills Jigs from Caper Cayley. Once you're travelling up the road to Glencoe from Fort William and you've got that in the car, nothing is quite as best or better than that. That is music at its best, countryside at its best, and you just feel at ease with the world, don't you? Scotland, brilliant. Right, news coming in. Ireland's Taoiseach Leo Varadkar has challenged remarks made by the new Home Secretary Priti Patel threatening food shortages in Ireland if it does not comply with Brexit proposals. Unbelievable. He's responded quite calmly, in my honest opinion, of the starvation that swept across Ireland in the 19th century, and hoped the new minister would think more carefully about what she said in future. Kev, that is just outrageous. You're blackmailing a country over Brexit by food shortages, because once there's a hard border, it's been declared that Ireland will find it more difficult to get trade across that border, and so there'll be food shortages, and she's threatening them with that.
When did this happen?
This is coming in into the independentnews.co.uk.
Yeah. I knew somebody did previously, but so this is just a recent one. I mean, it's so outrageous, it's beyond belief. It just shows you that her ignorance of history.
Patel's trying to use this as leverage for the Irish government to conform to British demands.
The insanity of that is beyond belief. I don't know.
It's arrogance, isn't it?
It's given like over 1 million Irish people died in the famine.
Yeah.
Right, to even
mention food shortages.
I mean, it's ridiculous anyway. I mean, what do you think? What do you think that would do to the UK? I mean, the bad the bad feeling, that whatever else would come out of that, I mean, it's just astonishing.
It's inciting
Ignorance of history.
But Kev, it's worse than that. It's inciting bitterness.
Yeah.
And
bizarre.
more. Boris Johnson has said he would not accept a backstop in any deal. It made it quite clear that if he was unable to reach a satisfactory agreement with the EU, he would take the UK out of the EU without a deal, which would lead to a hard border and severely disrupt trade into Ireland. They're not even caring. Just shocking. So that's Priti Patel. We need to get out of this union because this is the most right-wing cabinet I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
This is on a par with the Austrian right, and they're pretty bad. And Nadine Dorris, remember her? On the I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Uh-huh.
Even Theresa May said at the time, we should have politicians should be in their constituencies or in the House of Commons. Unbelievable. And she's the new what is she? The health secretary.
Really?
She trained as a nurse. What do we do?
My
Alistair
God.
Campbell has put out on Twitter, she is so ill qualified to serve in government.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty
What is
shocking.
happening? But
I mean,
Boris
my
Johnson,
God.
have you not noticed, Kev? He's aligned himself with Leavers
Yeah.
on the No campaign. And that's what you get. Ruth Davidson, Fluffy, he's it.
Yeah.
He says, I'm saddened to be kicked out of the government's cabinet, but not unexpected.
Well, he wasn't exactly for Boris, was he? Again,
No, he wasn't.
To his credit, a wee bit of credit.
Anyway,
I'm sure
Kev,
he'd have he was going to take the post he was offered it.
you're going to do something, Kev.
Yeah, I think the news might be.
Radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Welcome back to me, Norrie Hunter, and the Indie Live Studios, all the way through to 2 o'clock this Monday, 29th of July. Can't believe July's nearly over. Anyway, Sue Parsons, who was on the show in my absence, has said, what's she saying? On Twitter, I'll just get it down. This Twitter thing keeps moving. I don't know why it does that. I don't like it. She says, missing you all 1 week after our interview, now back home in Boston. Well done, Sue. Hope you had a good time over in Scotland. Fiona McGregor has said, just tuned into Indie Live Radio to catch the best bit of one of the best songs ever. Love you guys. I wonder what song that was. We've played quite a few so far, but I'm glad you're enjoying the music anyway. Right, let's see what else is happening here. Yeah, we were speaking over the microphones earlier, but just one of those things, you get back into the swing of it and you realise that the lights are off. That means you think the mics are off, but no, it's the other way around. So I've got that sorted. Right, the National, just looking through the front pages, the big Indie March, of course, was mentioned, but one of the big stories that caught my eye is the Labour councillor gets top job at Orange Order. What is going on? Surely you'd want to distance yourself from the Orange Order. But a Labour politician has been criticised after taking on a job with the Orange Order. Airdrie councillor Ian McNeill is to be the new executive officer of the Grand Orange Lodge of Scotland. The shock appointment left one Labour parliamentarian declaring that Jeremy Corbyn's party was more welcoming to orange men than it was to Jewish people. Wow, this is going to cause a few ruptures. McNeil's new job is the only full-time salaried role within the Protestant organisation. His appointment was announced by the Lodge on Friday, with Grandmaster Jim McHarrick saying that he was delighted to congratulate Ian McNeil on his appointment. Well, there'll be a response to that, I'm sure. But welcome back. If it's your first time listening to us, glad to have you along. There's a lot of people I met in my holidays that now know about Indie Live Radio, so if you're one of those people, glad to have you along. And if you want a wee request, we'll try and do something to suit. But lots of messages just now. People are enjoying the music. I'm glad to hear that. It's just the same old stuff we've had all the time. Just in a different order, I think. Is it? Anyway, Kev's going away for coffee. I'm going to have it after this. But meanwhile, we'll have my coffee. This is the Stray Cats, Runaway Boys.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Yeah, the Runaway Boys, Stray Cats. And one Stray Cat's just wandered back in. It's Kev.
Hello.
Thanks for the coffee, Kev. Lovely stuff.
Good stuff.
Kev, who is the new Secretary of State for Scotland?
Is it Alistair Sunday? Or Jack? I don't know. Who is it again?
Alistair Jack.
Alistair Jackson. Alistair, still got it right, actually. Alistair
But before that, had you heard of him?
no idea who it is.
Near do I. Does anyone know about him? Is he an MSP? MP?
Yeah.
Is he?
I've literally no idea.
I don't know either.
I'll go and Google him.
No, it's just because I'm just worried that political presenter doesn't know who the politicians of the day are. But it really baffles me. This guy has come from nowhere. And poor Fluffy will be he'll be distraught.
Yes, so he's member of Parliament for Dumfries and Galloway since 2017.
Oh, he's a new recruit.
Yeah, he's like one of the.
But he's a landowner, isn't he? I've heard him speak. He's like, okay, no referendum for Scotland. You've had one in 2014.
It was for a generation. That would no, I don't think so, mate.
More on this Labour councillor gets top job at Orange Order. Tommy Shepherd, the SNP MP for Edinburgh East, told in Sunday Times actually, beggars belief that running an anti-Catholic organisation is not incompatible with holding elected office on behalf of the Labour Party.
Disgusting.
Whoa! Most right-minded Labour Party supporters will find it surprising this can be allowed under Labour rules. It's surely high time this was reviewed.
I'm absolutely shocked by that one. That's incredible.
What's Richard Leonard saying about it?
It's a good point. I've checked. Nothing. Tumbleweed. Yeah, good point. Aye. Not a great deal.
But last year, Richard Leonard was forced to condemn one of his party's officials for making an anti-Catholic comment at the party's UK conference. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, I do.
Andy Kerr, chairman of Labour's ruling NEC, appeared to mock a female delegate for crossing herself before speaking during the debate. Leonard said there was no room in Labour for that kind of remark. We await your opinion on this one, Leonard.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd like to do some stuff at some point in the future about the Orange Order, to be honest. And
it's you have to treat it with kid gloves, I'm afraid. There's people who like it. People who think it's does a wonderful thing, getting people disciplined.
But they hate Catholics. They hate
They would disagree with that. A lot of them would disagree.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I've done a piece on this before, Kev, and they were mild-mannered. They came up and spoke, and they said, no, we don't hate Catholics. We're just pro-Protestant. I said, but things over the last year or so have taken a different turn, walking past a Catholic church, shouting obscenities at it, spitting on a priest, that kind of thing. No, I'm sorry. That is not a demonstration.
That's what
peaceful.
it's attracting. If they're not members of the Orange Order, that's what it's attracting. Okay.
Yes, indeed. They're attracting people, and you should have more discipline within your ranks if that's going to happen.
I don't remember them ever condemning.
Because listen, Kev, listen. If 90,000 people can march through Glasgow on an independence march with stewards and police and all the rest of it, and not one arrest, surely the Orange Order can take their 400 or whatever it is that march down with their bands and have the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my piece on it.
Fair enough.
What's the other one? SNP hammered Johnson over, this is what we talked about earlier on, the recycle cash pledge. He's going to come up to Scotland and say he will pledge 300 million for growth deal funds for devolved nations. But Derek Mackay, the Finance Secretary for Scotland, said there was no new money involved. This is just rehashed spending plans.
Yeah.
The guy's he is
I know.
Boris Johnson.
I know.
I heard one reporter talk about him in child terms. He's the only politician that gets referred to by his first name. Boris, this is childlike. And he's almost like a child in politics because he tries to push the boundaries, like a child would do, lying and see how far he can get away with it. And when he doesn't get away with it, he smirks. And he's told off by the press. He shouldn't have done that. This is just pathetic politics of the highest order.
No wonder Trump likes him.
Well, he's... Trump said, and I caught this, Britain is now Trump Britain, referring to Johnson. Trump Britain. How bad can it get?
Dear me.
Oh dear. Shocking. Now...
there's a message in for Sue Parsons. She's
I mentioned that.
She's welcoming you back. She's of course from Boston.
Yeah, came a long way to just
she
to
did
do an
an
interview.
interview.
Aye, I missed a lot when I wasn't here. But this, Johnny says, why does the MSM in Scotland refer to the SNP as the Nationalists, while not referring to Boris Johnson's English nationalist Tories as the Nationalists? The MSM in Scotland are trying to sell the notion that British English nationalism is benign and Scottish independence is inherently racist. I go along with that to a certain extent. I heard Joe Swinson again lambast nationalism in all its forms, she said. Yeah. So she's trying to sweep the civic nationalism in with the ethnic nationalism of the of Brexit. Will only work, Hen. Will only work.
Norrie, I just found out about that protest in the square. So it's actually it's already started. 12 o'clock. Radical Independence Campaign.
Radical? Are they back?
Yeah. Rick are back.
Hold on.
That was some timing.
That was some timing. Listen, this is the Van Tees. Have you heard of them?
No, I haven't.
Sweet little girls, but wait to hear them.
All right.
Live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Well, to look at these girls, you wouldn't think that butter would melt in their mouth. That is the Van Tees Bittersweet. Fantastic. Bit of grunge for a Monday morning. Wake us all up. Right, we're getting messages about a meeting at the Holyrood Parliament building to show opposition to Boris' visit, Kev.
Yeah.
So Mike says Dave was live streaming from Holyrood about 10 minutes ago and is asking people to attend if they can.
Yeah.
So that's right now at the Holyrood building. If you're in Edinburgh, if you can get along there to show your distaste to Boris Johnson's visit, they'd be glad to see you.
Yeah, good one.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Dave Llewellyn, so he'll probably be live streaming it. What's happening up there?
Yeah. We'll keep you posted on what is happening there. That'll come on Twitter, I'm sure. I'm not. I've done enough in Joe Swinson, Kev. I've had enough of it. Right. This is Mundell says next Holyrood vote will be pivotal for indie ref. Wow. Tell us something we don't know.
Really?
David Mundell has claimed that the 2021 Scottish Parliament vote will be a referendum on a referendum. He's saying, speaking candidly in one of his first interviews since being given his jotters by Boris Johnson, the ex-Secretary of State for Scotland said the next Holyrood election would be pivotal. There's nothing inevitable about having a second independence referendum, and certainly not in the short term, he said. Well, tell us something we don't know, indeed. Where's Mundell been hiding all this time? He doesn't know anything about Scotland, does he? He really doesn't. Well, that's it. And the new guy coming in, Alistair Jack, said the UK would reject a Section 30 order request. Well, it's no up to you, matey. The people of Scotland are sovereign. Know the Scotland Act. The immigration point system plans are under fire. Johnson proposed Australian-style scheme has been criticised. Well, we knew it would. Doesn't fit for this country because Scotland needs immigrants. One of the things I noticed when I was up in the Highlands was the amount of people from Poland and Hungary as well. This guy from Hungary. And they'd come over here because it was a good place to come. They love Scotland. They don't want to leave. But if they have to leave, one Polish girl was saying, she'll stick two fingers up at Boris Johnson and say, I don't want to be here anyway. I was trying to say to her that Scotland would love to have you to stay here. It's not because Scotland doesn't want you to go, but she knows that. This Polish girl, very clued up in politics. She knew that it wasn't the Scottish people that wanted her to leave, because she's found it very she settled in very well, let's say, in Pool U, where I was. But she says if she gets letters from the Home Office from Boris Johnson or Priti Patel, whoever's the Home Secretary, she will not stay. She will not stay. That's a Polish friend. Yeah. And I met her. I done a Canadian barn dance with her at Pool U Kelly. She was fantastic fun, but she's worried about her future.
No wonder.
But she knows it's Johnson, not Nicola Sturgeon.
Yeah.
Right, Kev, what else is happening?
I'm just trying to jumping about Twitter at the moment, and so I'm looking for little stories. So I'll come back to you when I get something for you. Okay?
We had something going on with the news there. Our news bot came on, but halfway through it, the outro.
Yeah, we'll get that fixed. we had a bit of a meltdown on Saturday after the show. I removed the March advert we had. And
because it's over, the match is gone.
Yeah,
we don't need it.
It seemed to freeze the radio, and what happened was it looks like it corrupted the database, the radio database, and so I was in there to 8:30 and Steve.
So can I blame Saturday night me speaking when the mics were on?
Yes.
Excellent.
Yes.
There you go. All happy now.
So
it wasn't my fault.
We're trying to get everything back to a better state, you know.
Aye. Well, we're back. Back with a bang. Ray, apologies. The Pram podcast went out at 10 a.m. Was not as advertised. Meet the Grassroots podcast with Pat Lee will hopefully go out today at 4 p.m. and repeated on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Right. A big shout out, I think, Kev, to Indie Pram Ray.
Absolutely.
I've listened to Gil Patterson, John Nicholson, and now he's done Pat Lee.
Yeah.
They're quality interviews. He really gets to the nub of the point.
He does.
He's brilliant as Ray. So thank you, Ray, for doing that for us. I'm going to put it on after our show.
I'll tell you what, also a shout out for English Scots for Yes.
Jan
does an amazing job. I'm so glad we've got their podcast.
Yeah, indeed. That's another one. I'm only saying this one because it came up in the... right, that's good, Jan. Everyone that helps us, Kev, we're absolutely delighted.
Absolutely.
And all the guests that come in, we are planning on getting a few more guests in. Emma Coburn was in touch with me about coming in at C&D Scotland.
Oh yeah.
So we'll try and get that on Trailer. What was it?
Trello.
Trello.
We actually, I wasn't too sure if we were actually supposed to have somebody in today, but
Me?
Apart from your good self, I thought I kept thinking we'll get somebody on today, but I need to check Trello, but I'm not sure about that one.
Well, it doesn't matter. We're here now.
The Saturday meltdown
Continues.
everybody's brains.
Kev looks a bit disheveled.
I am. I've still not recovered it. That was a long day on Saturday.
Yeah, when did you start, actually?
Well, I was in the office for about 9:30, and
In the morning?
yeah, and we started the live stream, but it was actually radio. We started the radio show.
So what
and
time did the
live
radio
stream
show
at
go out?
12 o'clock, and we put the radio show through the live stream. So it was a long old day then when that software.
But we actually leaped over another hurdle that we've been trying to do for a while, Kev, and that is get a radio broadcast at the same time as we do a live broadcast.
The live streaming.
Through the live streaming.
Yeah, that was something special, you know. So
It's a big thing.
We were, you know, we did the live stream. Cam 5 was done for this office, right? I had the computer in front of me, and we had the radio on as well, Gillian and myself. And, you know, and when we did interviews, we'd feed it through the live stream. So people heard the two brilliant interviews.
That is phenomenal.
And then the you know, Angus McNeil and MP, that went out as well. So it was really an interesting use of the technology.
We've just broken another barrier, Kev.
Yeah.
I think we're getting better and better. We keep saying this, and people think, you've been doing it for a wee while now, but we're still in the early stages of trying to set up.
Absolutely, and it's just not what people hear, right? It's the back end. We've set up a research department with Val and Marlon for Pensioners for Indy.
I heard Marlon on Friday. Wasn't she good?
Yeah, absolutely.
She knows her stuff, doesn't she?
Yeah, but along with Andy Anderson and that was incredible.
Yeah.
That discussion was amazing.
I didn't hear too much. I was up a hill.
Yeah.
I was up Ben up in Torridon, and I put on my phone, and I got 5 seconds, and it just went. Anyway, here's a band that play at all these festivals. The Renains.
Excellent.
Aren't they just? Here they go. Renains, Another Homeless Affair.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
That is the Renains, Another Homeless Affair. Fantastic band.
Legally live stream.
We love them.
Absolutely.
Tune in to
Right now, there's a bit of news coming in. We must put it out. What is it, Kev?
It's for Dave Llewellyn in
Yep.
Edinburgh. He's at the protest, and he's asked everybody to go along. He just said they expect Boris to be at Holyrood around 2 p.m. before going to Bute House to meet the First Minister. If anyone can be here, I could do with some bodies. There
Yeah.
you go. And he's using the hashtag the chains that bind Scotland.
And that's
Hashtag
hashtag
the
capital T for H,
Yeah.
capital C for chains, capital T for that, capital B for bind, capital S for Scotland.
Yeah, the chains that bind Scotland, right, from Dave Llewellyn. He's looking for bodies to go along to the protest. Dave will probably be live streaming that as well.
Aye.
Okay, so the more people to show support for that, the better. 2 o'clock, Edinburgh, Holyrood, for the protest against Boris Johnson.
Well, there we go. That's just come in. That's from the chains that bind Scotland. So that was in Sky News, Kev, that came out. That piece of information.
Right.
They've confirmed Boris due at Holyrood around 2 p.m.
Okay, good.
So when this show finishes. Right, what do you think he's going to say? Well, in fact, what do you think Nicola Sturgeon's going to say to him?
To be a fly in the wall, to live stream that one would be quite exciting. I have literally no idea. I don't.
I hope she reminds him of the poem that he put out in the Spectator when he was editor about Scotland.
She should read that poem out to him.
Aye. And the other one, I've got it written down somewhere. I was going to mention it, but I don't think I've got it in hand. But it's all about Boris Johnson. I won't call him Boris, call him Johnson. Muppet. Right. No, I haven't got it here, but he said some really daft things about Scottish people and Scotland in general. On the back of, I think it was Gordon Brown becoming Prime Minister. He didn't want him to become, and he said he couldn't be a Prime Minister because he was a bumbling idiot, but more importantly, he was Scottish. I hope that comes back to haunt him.
Dave's written another interesting tweet as well. 300 million for Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. That doesn't even cover the 180 million. Do you remember this? EU money Gove gave to the Scottish farmers, which just didn't happen.
180, that
180 euros, yeah.
Yeah, indeed. It's supposed to come to Scottish farmers.
Yeah.
It didn't. It went to English farmers instead. But that was earmarked for the Scottish farmers. Hell mend you if you're a Scottish farmer and you vote no. Surely you must be yes now. Right, I'm going to put up another break note in, Kev, just because I want to. 2 more minutes of chat. Right, anything else going on?
Well, I'm just retweeting Dave's tweet about going along at 2 o'clock at the moment to our Twitter account. So hopefully, that will reach more people. Okay, so I'm still checking, mate. Still looking.
Okay, right. There's been a bit of bad weather down south, but that's nothing to do with us. Let's see. All right, Cooey, open the door. First chance you get, please. Somebody says that. Who's at the door?
Yeah,
Is that gone? Is that passed?
it's going.
All right. We got all kinds of people turning up on our door, don't we, Kev? Some we'll want, some we don't want. Some we don't want. This is the other one. Trump wants a Farage and Johnson Brexit dream team. Donald Trump wants the Tories to join forces with the Brexit party, Nigel Farage has claimed. The two men met earlier this week at a rally where the president described Boris Johnson as Britain's Trump. Polls published over the weekend show that the new Prime Minister's staunch do-or-die commitment to Brexit by October 31st, deal or no deal, has all dented support for Farage's party. Yeah. Well, he's stolen Farage's thunder, isn't he? Well, that one. That was his intention, wasn't it, of course? But he's got no fans up in Scotland or Wales. Devastating news. 40% now on a YouGov poll would support Welsh independence.
40%.
40% coming in. 40%. Wow. 8,000 in a march at Carnarvon. Huge event in there. Things are changing all over Britain. I hope Wales don't get independence before we do.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Right. Let's see. We've got. I don't know what we've got coming up next. There's lots of good music still to come up until 2 o'clock. It's time now is 12:34. We're here with me, Norrie Hunter, and Kev Gibney. We're going to be doing some more music. This is the Cake Sale. Good Intentions Rust.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Yes, indeed, the Cake Sale. Good Intentions Rust. Right, getting more feedback on the piece we done in the first part of the show about Jo Swinson. You may remember she was speaking on Ridge on Sunday, and she says we made mistakes while in government in 2010. Common Space have been writing. They say their problem is that Swinson and her colleagues were in power as recently as 2010, and her record in office is widely known. Like everyone in the Tory Lib Dem coalition in 2010, Swinson knew the banks had sunk Britain into recession and debt. But in a bid to protect the wealthiest, she blamed the poorest. Jo Swinson voted to impose the bedroom tax to cut benefits for the sick and disabled and supported a bonfire of public services. John Nicholson says it just doesn't cut it. Once you're in power, you have a moral obligation to do the right thing. You can't come out of power and say, oh, we made mistakes. No chance. Once you get that opportunity, you've lost it. Remainers in England are so desperate for a champion, they are overlooking her record in office. That's Angela. She also supported 0-hour contracts, opposed legally enforceable measures to promote gender equality in the workplace. John Stewart, she thinks she is, as we move into Brexit mode, all this can be forgotten. Wrong. She is at the core of austerity and must take the blame. Well, lots of stuff coming in on Jo Swinson. None of it too healthy, but there are one or two messages saying that if you're in England and you're anti-Brexit, the Lib Dems are the only party, the biggest party to take your vote forward. They're on your side. We're lucky we don't need them in Scotland. We know what they're about. There's a by-election in Shetland coming up because Tavish Scott went away to Scottish rugby. And the SNP have got a strong candidate, I believe. We'll wait and see how that turns out, but all the best to him. I hope that turns proper yellow, not that goldy, stupid colour they've got. You know what I'm saying. Right. Yeah, we want the SNP up in Shetland. It's about time. It's about time. Listen, we're going to try and get some decent music. Lots of you have been getting in touch saying that the music's really good, and you've just tuned in. It's the same music we've had for the last 4 months. I don't think we've upgraded it or updated it. But I'm going to put who's this? Stevie Wonder, Sir Duke. He's coming on next. We'll take a wee break. We'll see you after this.
Norrie, glad to be back.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Well, fantastic.
This is IndieLive.
Inspiring weekend in Carnarvon. Plaid Cymru is in the lead for both the constituencies and the regions for the Senate. A historic moment, lots of work left to do, but we're on the march. We can do this. Adam Price, the Plaid Cymru leader. No wonder. These are opinion polls that have just come through for ITV and Cardiff University. Sample polls, 1,071 people. Let's have a look at them. 24% would vote for Plaid Cymru. Next, 21% Labour. The Conservatives, 19%, with the Brexit Party, 19%. Lib Dems, 12%. The Greens, 4%, and others, 2%. Plaid Cymru taking the lead for the first time ever in Wales in the opinion polls. This is big news. Also, the other big news was that the YouGov poll also suggested that 40% of Welsh people would vote for independence from England, from London rather. 40% in Wales. Big news. Wow. And Nicola Sturgeon has been on, she's been talking about the visit of Boris Johnson. She's going to remind him we didn't vote for him. We didn't vote for the Tories. We didn't vote for Brexit. We didn't vote for him and the Prime Minister. So what's he doing here? What's he wanting? What's he wanting with Scotland? I think that'll be fireworks, Kev. When they two get together, she's a very educated solicitor. He's a bumbling fool. Who do you think will come out top on that?
Well, I would love to listen to that conversation. I really would. I mean, that would be a classic.
Well, I wonder if it'll be on BBC or Sky later. We'll report on it on Wednesday. Yeah. I don't think Nicola Sturgeon's in any mood. There's a lot of pressure. We had Angus McNeil on Saturday.
Yeah,
there's a lot of pressure from our own party to get this thing moving and have a plan B at least.
Yeah, some kind of plan B.
Aye.
I think Angus was saying that they're going to support some other thing that's going to get an amendment to it for the conference.
Well,
but I need to go and listen to his.
That's just another way of getting it on the agenda, Kev, and then you can probably put a couple of things in that are slightly off topic and get it viewed that way. But it's coming to a crunch, isn't it?
It is. We're getting to that period now. It's getting very, very interesting. And I know we've said that so many times since 2014, but this is coming up to maybe our next bite of the cherry.
Well, having been on my holidays, Kev, up in the north of Scotland, traditionally very Tory up where the mother-in-law stays. Up that way, the churches have got a big influence on people. Lib Dems are big as well up there. But when I went up this time, that has all changed.
Really?
Kev, honestly, people who I least expected to come out and support Nicola Sturgeon. In fact, I can tell you this: there's people up there I know at some point would have called her cranky and Jimmy Cranky and all this negative stuff. Now she's almost like the saviour.
Wow.
It's things are changing.
That is good to hear.
Things are changing, I can assure you. I only wish they could get their broadband up there sorted like eggs so they could hear us on Indie Live Radio. Don't forget you can contact us at indielive.radio webpage. Scroll down for the chat box.
I tell you what, we absolutely need the whole of Scotland covered in high quality broadband. Absolutely, that needs to be I'll bring life to a lot of these
It would.
remote places, you know.
I've said it before, Kev, and I'll say it again till I'm blue in the face. You drive out of Glasgow and Radio Clyde disappears, all the radio stations disappear, and you're left with BBC 1, 2, 3, 4. You can get 6, not 6, sorry, but you can get 5 live and Radio Ningale. So that's when I turn the radio off, put the music on.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah, and it's no coincidence, is it, that we lose listeners on radio stations the further they go out of Glasgow.
Right.
And, you know, I've seen it with my own eyes, Kev. People buy the Press and Journal, which is a Tory paper. It's no friend to the SNP, and they listen to the BBC News and they take that as verbatim.
Yeah.
Shocking state of affairs. But that's where we are. Bendy Live Radio is there to salvage some people from the mire that is the MSM.
Norrie, just to let you know, see if I'll just send in a tweet to Dave, who's up outside Edinburgh at this protest.
Dave Llewellyn.
Dave Llewellyn. If he starts live streaming, let's say around about 2:30, I'll try and simulcast it out to Independence Live Social Media Network.
Perfect. That's after the show, of course. But then that's when things kick off anyway at the Scottish Parliament. Right. Better to be tuned, Kev.
Yes.
I was going to ask you what.
Catch my breath.
You were away for a while, but I was going to ask you about Donald Trump wanting a Farage and Johnson Brexit dream team. Where is politics going when we have to?
Trump, racist, sexist, everything you wouldn't want in a president, prime minister, anything. If he wasn't president, he'd have got done for some of this stuff.
I know he's protected quite a lot, but here's the thing: where is Britain going to go after we leave the EU?
Well, cap in hand for a trade deal with Trump, and we both know that the big thing that'll be in the table for that will be the NHS. That'll get swallowed.
Well, Trump says, he's on Twitter, of course, Trump. He says, Johnson and Farage, they're going to work well together and could do some tremendous things. Trump could try to force Boris to form a pact with Farage, one Farage ally said. I don't know who's dreaming this stuff up, but it's scary nonetheless. Yes, yeah. You better be.
Absolutely.
Right, what have we got now? Bit of Sam Smith.
Yep.
That'll do us, Kev. Try and relax to this.
Music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Sam Smith with Norrie, Dancing with a Stranger. We're getting some messages coming through. Indy Pram Ray is saying it's unbelievable that... let's see, well, get the mics on. Kev's on. Unbelievable that Plaid Cymru opted not to put up a candidate for the Westminster by-election for Brecon and Radnorshire on August the 1st. That is strange one, that, Ray. Absolutely. I'm not sure why they did that. Maybe they're trying to gather around a Brexit candidate. I'm not sure. Even the Monster Raven Rooney Party have a candidate. Yeah, indeed. Mike Fenix got in touch, Kev. He's saying heavy police presence at back door of Parliament. That's where it head to. Yeah. No heavy police presence when you and me went to that very back door, lol.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. And Angus Robertson has been on Twitter. He says, looks like a big change is underway in Welsh politics. Congratulations to Adam Price and Plaid Cymru, in taking the national opinion poll lead. People in Wales deserve the most ambitious government to deliver for everyone in the country.
Yeah, good luck to them, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I didn't see that happen. I knew they were creeping along, but I didn't know they were, taking the lead.
Yeah, and they're doing all the marches as well. So, it's it gives people hope, and, that they can do it as well. They can get their independence. And
one of the things that Sean from Cymru Radio said, we look at up north and we take our inspiration from you guys. But wouldn't it be ironic if Wales got independence before we did?
Yeah, absolutely. But, good luck to them if they manage it.
Oh, great luck to them. Oh, I'm telling you, that would be brilliant if they got it. It's just astonishing, what's happening down there. I think if we did another poll up here, I think you'd find it astonishing as well.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe reading another poll next time it comes out.
When was the last one we had?
I'm not sure.
No, I don't know either.
I'll check James Kelly.
The very man.
Not the
not the Muppet. Did you? Oh, by the way, Kev, did you see him? He drove up in his car and he hit the curb, and he came out of his car and he was on this on Twitter, and he says, "I'm here to tell you about the SNP car tax." And I thought, oh, you absolute...
How weak is that?
You absolute Muppet. And he just, I can't stand these... I mean, there should be a criteria, Kev, for being a politician. You must have an ounce of brains or common sense before you get in past the door at the Scottish Parliament. There's a few Tories and a few Labour that should not be in there. Be in there. Do you know anything about the guy that's standing for the Shetland seat, Tom Wills? For the SNP?
I don't, but I think they've got high hopes up there.
I think they do, yeah. For one thing, he's putting himself about on Twitter.
Yeah.
He's saying all the right things. He's online, his own message. Good luck to him, that's all I say.
What's his, if you get his Twitter address, then I can...
Tom Wills, I think that's his name.
I'll track it down.
You track it down. I'll just. This is. We'll play some music while you're tracking that down. This is. Who is it? Sydney Youngblood. If only I could.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
That was the band Perry, All Your Life. Good stuff there. Now, just come in, Kev. Nicola Sturgeon has been speaking. She's saying the people of Scotland did not vote for this Tory government. They did not vote for this new Prime Minister. They did not vote for Brexit, and they certainly didn't vote for a catastrophic no-deal Brexit, which Boris Johnson is now planning for. Boris Johnson has formed a hardline Tory government with one aim: to take Scotland and the UK out of the EU without a deal. Scotland has been ignored throughout the Brexit process, and it is now time for everyone who cares about the future of Scotland to come together to chart our own course and say to the Tories, stop driving our country towards disaster. Well, Boris Johnson, that's what you're getting, mate.
Yeah.
Fighting talk.
Absolutely.
It has to be.
That sounds good, doesn't it, Comfy Nicola?
Aye,
Yeah.
it has to
like
be.
it.
And that's Sky are reporting that, and all the big multinationals are on that one. So there should be a big occasion when he comes up to Scotland. I wonder how it will be reported.
Well,
We'll wait and see.
yeah, by the BBC.
Yeah,
You know,
that's what I'm worried
it'll
about.
be
Aha.
pretty neutral, I would imagine. I'm sure there won't be anything that comes close to
Yeah.
pro-Indie line.
Well, Nicola Sturgeon says Boris Johnson is driving UK to disaster ahead of first official meeting. He's saying that Nicola Sturgeon is driving Britain to disaster with this referendum call for Scottish independence. How do you work that out now, Kev?
Well, you know, the UK, you know, we want independence. So, you know, if you're looking at it from a UK point of view, you know, it's if the countries start peeling off it, you know, if Scotland goes,
Yeah.
UK's, you know, it's going to be left with.
Well, we're starting to get pictures in from Holyrood.
Okay.
One or two. It's filling up. Hopefully the BBC will be there as well. It's pretty Indie Live. Couldn't be there.
Well, it's Dave Llewellyn will be up there. He'll be live streaming. I'm not sure. Maybe Jerry's doing something. I actually need to check our live streaming channels and Dave's channel.
That's a good idea, actually.
And see what's happening.
Yeah, to see if we can get a viewpoint on what's happening.
Absolutely, that's what I'll do. I'll check that out.
Now, Kev, we're talking about Ruth Davidson, what's going to happen to her? Very quiet after the announcement
Well,
that
she's
Boris
been
Johnson.
sidelined, hasn't she? She's effectively been sidelined by Boris. I mean,
Well, I was looking back.
and Dale was her man.
Do you remember when the Brexit debate was on? There was a TV debate, and she took him on, and she started shouting that this would be a disaster and all the rest of it. And he could see that she was on the Remain side. Fast forward a few years to now, he's thinking, "I'm not having her. She's too she's toxic."
Yeah.
And no matter how much grovelling she does, she's still not going to get a place there.
She's an outsider now.
But doesn't it just show you how much real power she wielded in the cabinet?
Yes, nothing.
Nothing. Absolutely
That was
nothing.
just for the cameras.
It's for the cameras. And now they're trying to tell us that Ruth Davidson was the saviour. She got 13 baker's dozen Tory MPs to Parliament. Who won that election? I think it was
Exactly.
it was SNP, wasn't it? If memory serves me right.
Yeah.
She said, and then they said, I think it was Jackson Carwash. She said, right there near that seat is where the new First Minister of Scotland will be sitting, and it won't be you, it'll be Ruth Davidson. And how we laughed at the time.
Yeah.
How we're laughing now, actually.
I know.
At these
I know.
muppets. Absolute turkeys. Right. Let's see. More music.
Yes, please.
The Seekers, A World of Our Own. This will. I'm going to drop down the last dregs of this
Can
coffee.
I just jump in there?
No, you can't, because the Seekers are coming
right,
up
okay.
in 2,
I'll
4,
tell
3,
you
2,
later.
1. Aye.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Right, Kev, what's happening? I have to cut into the music there. Things are happening in Edinburgh.
Yeah, it's another little tweet from Dave Llewellyn. He's saying that Mounted Police are now heading towards Holyrood Park. Guess it's the helicopter writing off, so Boris must be coming in the
Mounted
old helicopter.
Wow, so he's coming in the posh way.
Yeah, he's coming in the posh way.
What I didn't know, Kev, we were talking about Ruth Davidson earlier, that she's having a meeting with Boris Johnson as well. Which
That'll be another interesting conversation.
apparently it's going to be very difficult because...
Yeah, it will be, given the fact she's been kind of sidelined.
well,
Thanks.
aye, exactly. Do you feel sorry for her? I don't.
No, not at all.
No, it's...
Zero.
She's made it clear, the Scottish Tory leader, that she cannot support a no-deal Brexit. That's something that the Prime Minister said he would be prepared to pursue if it means Britain leaving without a deal. So Mr Johnson has ignored... I forgot about this. She's ignored her advice to keep Mandel in his role as Scottish Secretary, sacking him and replacing him with Alistair Jack. So... her nose is well out of joint, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the thing is, after this meeting, is she going to make an appearance and say, well, actually, Boris has, made me feel a little bit better, and I think, hard Brexit is okay. What are we going to get after this?
Kev, you know as well as I do, she flip-flops
It could
from
be a
one
major
to the next.
flip-flopper.
She's a flip-flopper. That's her. She is a
And maybe
flip-flopper.
she'll get, down the line, she'll get a little job in his administration, whatever. You know?
This. She's still got the dark money to sort out.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
not
true.
forget that.
Yeah.
That money that came from Northern Ireland.
Oh,
We haven't forgotten about it. Indie
shocking.
Live Radio. We'll mention it
Yeah.
till the cows come home. Where did you get that money from? Where did you get the money to fund your campaigns? That's what we'd like
Absolutely.
to know. Right, Kev. So everything's happening down at. Well, it's not Butte House. It's first of all, it's to Parliament, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then to Butte House, I think.
I'm trying to find out what's happened in Buchanan Steps. That, of course, was Radical.
Oh yes, there's something happening there. Don't forget that.
And then also, I believe he's heading down to Faz Lane.
Yeah, and then is he flying home after that?
Well, after that, who knows? I don't know. After Holyrood, who knows?
They're going to be discussing the ties that bind us together.
There's none.
They must be.
It's
They're a bit frayed, those
historical
binds, aren't they?
Nonsense.
They're a bit frayed. Right, let's. I don't know what we've got left, Kev. It's actually 1:15. This time has flown today, hasn't it?
Jeez, I know.
I was telling you I was up north and I was listening to other radio stations. Nevis Radio. How could you sell your souls? Putting Sky News on at on the hour, and getting English news for the Highlands. That is just shambolic. It serves no one. It doesn't serve the. It doesn't serve the community. It doesn't serve the community.
We'll give them Indie Live bot to put out.
We've got
Susan or George
or George or is it Hazel?
Hazel as well. Susan, George, and Hazel.
Aye, but then the next one was Two Lochs. Just the usual stuff. I mean, John Jabberwocky could teach them a few things.
Oh, I bet you could. What a guy.
Listen to John Jabberwocky on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. See how a real DJ puts out music and chat. But I will take my hat off to Coolin FM. Good stuff up there.
Excellent.
I won't diss them. I listen to them all the time, actually, and they're online too. But they're our opposition. But they don't do politics in any serious form.
Right.
Some would say we don't either.
Well, we try to.
We try to.
That's what we try to do.
We try to. So there we go. Somebody's giving us a chat. Somebody's saying everybody's free to come along at Holyrood.
Right, good.
I don't know who that is. Mike Rosala. Aye.
I don't know if Mike's listening and if he could maybe give us an update as well. About,
Mike Fennick, if you're
Holyrood.
listening, give us an update on what's happening at Holyrood. Please, our roving reporters, please get in touch. Right. Don't know what's left today, Kev. It's looking a bit... it looks as if it's going to rain, but I don't know if it is. It's very downcast in the yes city of Glasgow. Of course, Campbelltown was the yes place to be on Saturday. 2,000 people, Kev. Not a bad turnout.
That's pretty good. According to the police, 2,000 people. And It was wonderful to see. Pat Lee done some great interviews, and
No, he was interviewed, wasn't he?
yeah, he got interviewed.
Aye.
Right, but Pat Lee was also live streaming for Independence Live.
Oh, was
and
he?
He'd done a cracking job. He's really good at it. The interviews he was doing, he was talking to wee kids as well.
That's what you
Babas,
want.
you know,
Mhm.
and it was fantastic. What a good job.
Well, partly, if you're listening, it's time to come in for a wee chat, a wee bit of not a chat, just let's go over the news, and we'll give you a microphone and you can join us in the studio if you want. Right, when's next match, Kev?
Do you know what? That's the wrong one. What this is July.
Yeah, we're in
I think it
August.
could be Aberdeen.
You know what? I'm going to try and
17th
get.
August.
I'm going to try and get to
Aberdeen.
that one, and I want to get the microphone on my phone
Yeah.
and do some interviews with the people up there. So you're going to show me that, aren't you, Kev?
Yes.
Do
yes.
it.
Oh, you better believe it.
Aye.
I'll show you.
I thought I'd lost you for a second there.
No. I was looking at. I was trying to find stuff out about Faz Lane, but it looks like Boris was there earlier today. Up at Faz Lane.
Right. Okay, doke. Right, Mark Knopfler, James Taylor, Sailing to Philadelphia. I love this track, but it's about a guy from yesteryear, and they found out about him. Sailing to Philadelphia. Hope you enjoy.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Beautiful stuff. Martin Knopfler, James Taylor, Sailing to Philadelphia. Quite like that one, Kev. Keep us going.
That's good.
I don't know if you've seen the Greg Moody cartoon.
I like Greg Moody. He's good, isn't he?
He's got Bye Bye Fluffy, and he's got him in a tin hat, of course, and he's going and he's taking his wee teddy bear with him.
Let me have a look. Point. Oh, yeah.
Get your own paper.
Yeah, I'm going to have to.
Now, there's some stuff I was wanting to... A lot of lovely photographs in the National Day about the march at Campbelltown. And everybody's got a smile on their face.
Yeah.
Everybody.
That was a great thing when I was watching the live stream from here. You know, all the big smiley faces that were going on. And the kids, that's a great photograph in the National front page.
Beautiful.
You know, and it was really wonderful. Great seeing the families. That's the thing about marches, right? It allows everybody to participate, right?
It does indeed.
You know, all the kids to get along, families to get along. Because if you're out, you know, canvassing or you're at a stall, you don't bring the kids along to that. It's not, you know.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things
right.
that the marches fulfil.
Aye.
It can bring everybody in,
Aye.
right?
And they love it. And do you know what? Special mention's got to go to the police sometimes because
they do a great job.
They do a fantastic job, and they recognise ordinary people for what they are. Just ordinary people on a demonstration, a peaceful demonstration. Now, listen.
It's an easy day out for them as well.
It is. Gravity Waves, Paul M. Me and ESFY. Remember we got caught up with that, Kev? We forgot who they were.
Oh, yeah, that's just shocking.
English Scots for yes. Jan were at Campbelltown. It took 4.5 hours to get there on the Edinburgh Yes Hub coach. It was excellent, if a long day. Shame the weather gods were not with us. But sometimes when the scenery is that good, the weather doesn't matter, does it, Kev? Doesn't matter.
Smiling faces shone through.
Aye. Right. Let's see. What else is... I was going to read up... Will Jack, this is Alistair Jack, will he have any influence in the cabinet? In his open letter in the Sunday National yesterday, Michael Russell offers some excellent advice to Alistair Jack, but I fear it will be wasted as our new Secretary of State will have as little influence in the cabinet as his predecessor had in the last one.
Yeah, of course.
We all know how Boris Johnson feels about Scots after he published that appalling racist poem by James Meekie during his stint as editor of The Spectator. We'll need to take that out, actually.
Yeah, we shall.
We shall. Since his accession as a Prime Minister, he has appointed upwards of 100 ministers to his government, approximately 1 in 3 of all Tory MPs, but only 1 of the 13 Scottish Tory MPs. Out of all those that got their seats in the House of Commons, and how many are picked for his...
That's how much influence you have.
Indeed.
We all knew that anyway.
We all knew that. But they were trying to to tell us otherwise.
Of course.
Is it possible that this situation has arisen because Boris Johnson feels that he cannot totally rely on any Scottish MP in any office? In spite of having the choice of a dozen Scottish Tory MPs who are no doubt capable of carrying out the junior office, he has got appointed a quintessential English Tory MP as Jack Shadow in the Scotland office.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that guy Walker, who's he? Shropshire. He's the
Yeah.
deputy, a deputy Secretary of State. Why do you need a deputy? The Secretary of State does none as it is. Do you know what I mean?
Keep the Scots in line, but I'm sure he'll have no problem there.
Oh, I know what it is, Kev. I know what it is. It's for that majestic new hub they've got in Waverley.
Oh yeah,
They're going to have to man it, aren't they?
oh, dear me, yeah.
Man.
That's the
Do you-
little castle up here, Unionist Castle, isn't it?
Yeah, but what a present for us once we get independence.
Yeah,
a brand new
exactly.
office space to enlarge our our Scottish Parliament.
Yeah.
Brilliant. They're in for a big shock, aren't they? They
Well,
really are.
I'm home, so definitely. That's for sure.
Well, Kev, when I was up in the Highlands, I heard a lot of Gaelic being spoken. A lot of Gaelic. And a lot of people were asking me, I put on Caper Kelly sometimes, but there's other Gaelic stuff out there. So I found some, and I'm going to put it on.
Alrighty.
This is for, if you're listening in Gairloch, or Arasaig, or Glenfinnan, or Fort William, all the places I've been, this is for you. It's Tanis, Cairkill a Huan.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
There you go, Kelsey Ballerina, Miss Me More. We're just back. I was asking Kev off air if he'd done the Walloper of the Week over the last 2 weeks when I was away. He said, what did you say, Kev?
I said, completely forgot about it, man.
I know. Well, the thing is, sometimes, Kev, there's too many to choose from.
Yeah,
That's
this
the
is
thing.
the thing. Right.
Like today's one, we're going to put it into the hat. Who are we going to put into the hat?
It's got to be Boris Johnson.
It has to be, doesn't it? He's going to come up here, overlord us, our Imperial Master, of course. He's going to come up and tell us what to do. And he'll tell us how much money we're going to get
This
and what rules and regulations we can have. And he'll close down our parliament if he wants to.
This is true.
Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
No, you won't, you muppet. Scotland's got more sense than that. In fact, the way it's going, Wales is going to take the lead, Kev, because 40% in the leads for independent. Well,
Wow.
That's not bad from start on nothing.
Yeah.
We'll get the Muppets off for a second. From a standing start of 0 to 40%. And why do you think that's happened, Kev? I'll give you two reasons. I think Mark Drayford and the guy before him, Joan, I think it's Jones, I can't remember his name, but they said they could have the powers that are coming back from Europe to take to Westminster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just come on, in fact, I'll just check this, it's just come on that Dominic Raab has said that the executive of Northern Ireland, they will take over power. The British government will take over power at the Irish Senate.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Try and get more on that as it comes.
Absolutely.
It's just come through. We don't just throw this programme together. But actually, that just happened as we were speaking. The executive of the Northern Ireland Assembly collapsed in 2017, of course, and while talks to restore power sharing are ongoing, it's far from clear that a resolution will be found by 31st of October. Mr Rabb said the government would ensure that there was no vacuum in the region in the event of a no deal. Asked if the government would have to impose direct rule, he told BBC Radio 4's Today programme, "We'll make sure that arrangements are in place." Tells you everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And so they've got Wales, they've got Northern Ireland, but they haven't got Scotland. I have no idea what that's coming from. Is that better?
Yeah, that's better.
We're getting them because we've got live feeds coming in from everywhere. Reuters News, everything. We're dealing with a lot of stuff that's coming in just now. So probably need to do a 5-hour show, Kevin.
I know,
but I have to get back. I have to get home. Right. That was that. So Boris Johnson, Walloper of the week.
Easy in the lead there with Boris.
Any other contenders?
Phew.
I think David Mundell should get it. I know it.
Poor David. I mean, the boy's hurting at the moment.
Aye, good. Let's listen. See these guys that are on austerity. Guys selling big issues. They're hurting every day.
Yeah, you got to better believe it, man.
And I have no sympathy for the guy. He's all right. He'll never have a cold night. He'll never go without food. He'll never. Well, he might be lonely. But who cares? He's a spent force, and I hope he loses his seat in the next general election. But sadly, I think he's seen he'll keep it. You know, the polls are saying he'll keep it. Don't know. Come on down, Dumfries and Galloway. Get him out.
What doing down there?
I know. Get him out. Get that.
The problem is, it's mainstream media, isn't it?
Aye, but down there they've got a mobile hub. Down Dumfries.
That's true.
And so if they get that out and about, who knows what can happen.
I'm sorry, I'm busy trying to eat at the same time here. I'm not hungry.
It's no use. Absolutely no use. You might see Kev over there chewing away on a sandwich. That's not the done thing. I ate mine when the music was playing.
Yeah, I forgot to.
Mind you, I've got control of the music.
Yeah, this is true.
No, it's not all your fault, Kev. Right. It's nearly coming up. It's 13:46, nearly 1:45. 15 minutes left of the show, Kev. Monday, 29th of July. It's coming to an end. It's good to be back. I didn't realise it would be so quick. The whole show has just flown past.
It does, doesn't it?
All that info. We had lots of stuff on Joe Swinson, but we've kind of done that to death. We know there's a lot of people out there that don't like her. I think she's a liar. A lot of people like the music. That's good to hear. What else? Ruth Davidson. She's.
There's somebody's made a tweet. Oh.
There's Jimmy Mack coming on. Come
right?
Back after it.
Oh yeah, okay, no problem.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio.
Welcome back. We've just got Radical Independence up a picture from the Evening Times. It's got pictures of Boris Johnson with no written all over it. Have you seen it, Kev?
Yeah, I think I retweeted that one.
I think you did. It's quite a strong picture, actually. Ordinary people really annoyed at him getting out in the streets and demonstrating. Good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to hear the Radical Independence campaign, because I think they've been a bit quiet of late. So hopefully they're getting back into gear, because we'll need them.
Now, Kev, before we disappear into the ether, you've got some news to tell.
Oh yeah. I'm going on holiday with the family for a couple of weeks. On this week anyway. At some point, some day this week, I'm off for a couple of weeks.
You deserve it, mate.
I'm melting a bit, so yeah, I need a little break.
You do.
And, hopefully everything will not faulty bits. The computer will keep going. The software won't crash.
If it does, I'll get in touch with Steve Callaghan.
He's done a great job.
He has, hasn't he?
Thank goodness.
And he does so much work for us. It's untrue. We need to get him down here for a pint.
Yeah, I would say
least.
so.
Get him out and about. So anywhere nice you're going, Kev?
Just
in Scotland?
Just a friend's place.
Oh, that's good. Aye. Because that's what we did. We went to our in-laws.
Yeah.
Can't afford.
Yeah.
Do you know, I was trying to explain to some people that if you're on low wages or no wages like us, it's very difficult to get a holiday, because it's £150 a night in Oban.
Mm-hmm.
If you go up to Arisaig, it's more.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Kev. When I was in Malik, right down the front, there's all these houses looking over onto the beautiful views. Guess where they put the council houses? Right at the back, all jam-packed, cheek by jowl. And you know what? I was going to say something there, but all the damp's leaking through into them.
That's shocking.
And you know, in an independent Scotland, everybody should have a house that's got a view, because what it does for your mental health is immeasurable. When you look out and you see the water and you see the wildlife, and you know you're part of something bigger and greater rather than a scheme. I can't wait to get housing sorted and land reform. Get these guys off our land. Andy Whiteman, anybody? Let's get him in. Let's get
definitely.
Him in. Revive, get them in.
I'm looking at a poll. Somebody's tweeted the latest YouGov poll. SNP 26% ahead of Scottish Tories. Westminster voting intentions.
Oh, is this for Westminster?
Yeah.
So in terms of seats, how does that pan out?
Oh God, who knows? But they've got Westminster voting intentions. SNP 47%, Conservatives 21%, Lib Dems 12%,
No seats.
Labour 11%,
No seats.
Brexit Party 5%, Greens 3%.
If you get over 50%, you get all the seats. That's how first past the post wins. You know, so 40. What was it? 40.
47%.
Oh, they've got most of the seats.
Yeah.
That gives you most of the seats, Kev.
Absolutely.
And Fluffy would probably keep his. Who else? The liar, Carmichael, he'd probably keep his.
Yeah.
Don't know what they're doing up in Shetland. Keeping that guy in
I know.
position.
What he's doing.
Unbelievable stupidity. They are, Shetland, telling you it straight. Get rid of him. What have we got, Kev? We've got 7 minutes left. A couple of bits of music, then that's us out. I'm going to put on Bar Brothers.
Excellent.
Ooh Bell, they are good. Here we go.
This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music.
The fantastic
Tune in to IndieLive.radio.
Ooh, Bell. Superb. Kev, your nomination for Walloper of the Week is Boris Johnson. We've just had word through that Johnson's government is to spend up to £10 million on TV ads and leaflets preparing Brits for a no-deal Brexit. As if we don't know what that means already.
Yeah, I mean, it's pure propaganda,
Pure
isn't it?
propaganda.
Definitely well worth the Walloper of the Week.
Yes, indeed. And the pound has reached an all-time low against the euro. Every time Boris Johnson seems to open his mouth, the pound plummets. This guy is bad news for Scotland. Are you yes yet? Surely there can't be many people out there thinking that this is a good way to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's 13:58. It's almost time to go. 3 hours. I'm scratching my bonnet. Wondering where that time went to. Never get that back. I'm not going to get that back.
Do you know what? I can't wait to go on holiday to get a break, man. I need to recharge the batteries and get back.
It's amazing what it does to you. It's brilliant.
I know.
To see these and get cut away from politics.
I'm not taking the computer.
No.
I'm taking.
Don't give the kids the
switching off.
iPads.
No, nothing. There'll be no electronic devices anywhere near me.
Quite right.
Or us. That's for sure.
Well, as we tumble towards 2 o'clock, are you going to be on Wednesday, Kev? Is that?
I'm not coming in on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Now,
I'll be in tomorrow, but
there's something happening tomorrow, isn't there?
I'm not sure. I don't plan any shows,
No,
that's for
but
sure, but I'll be sorting stuff out.
Is there not anything else? We can't say it, can we? Can't say.
Oh, yeah. No, oh, yeah, there is. That's right. No, we can't say. That's right.
Something big's happening for
Well.
Indie Live Radio. Well, big,
Yeah.
that size.
Yeah. Maybe.
Maybe. But we did something big at the weekend. We live streamed and we put a radio show at the same time.
Yeah, that was great. That was the first time I've tried that full on. It was brilliant.
Right, before I go, I need the key to the office if you're not going to be here
Yeah,
on
that's right.
Wednesday.
Yeah,
So I
absolutely.
need that. It's good to be back, folks. Thanks for tuning in. Always a blast. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. More of that on Wednesday. We'll see what's happening with Boris Johnson and Nicola Sturgeon. And will we be any nearer a referendum date? I think we might just well be.
Yeah.
The clock is ticking. Thanks very much for listening. Take care. God bless.
Bye.
See you all on Wednesday. Bye for now.
Bye now.
Live.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio. Unfortunately, we cannot legally live stream music. Tune in to IndieLive.radio for audio. This is IndieLive.radio.